Hello, everybody. Did you miss us?
Yeah, because we missed a week.
We did miss a week, but we're back and we're here. And we thought stupidly that there was going to be an episode on tonight. I don't know. I just thought there was. I just assumed there was. And then something twigged and it's like, oh, when they're down to 3 people, there's only one episode left. And that one episode, they're not going to put it on a Tuesday night. They're going to put it on a Sunday night. So the finale is next Sunday, the finale of Survivor Australia. Are we excited, T? Are we excited?
It must be from memory, a half, like half live. Do they do it live or is it already done and dusted?
Oh, no, they're supposed to be doing the live. They always do the live show after they've done the last vote, and then they all come back to the studio and then it's live because they don't know, like the people who are in it don't know who won yet.
That is crazy.
Except
so Hayley
for
and
Jonathan.
Flick are just sitting there like, oh.
Well,
you know it's going to be. But anyway, we won't jump ahead.
We won't jump ahead. You're getting ahead of yourself. Come on.
So last week, Mick, we missed it, but also like I was a bit ho-hum about it. Did you enjoyed last week though, didn't you?
I enjoyed, it's so far, I did write notes for last week and I've got to go through and try and remember what happened. Was that when Andrew was there and he got kicked out?
Oh, please, can we talk about it? People hate him so much.
And then the urns came in and all that sort of stuff. So the urns have been a big topic of discussion online.
No, I don't think the urns, I thought the urns were the week before.
Really? Am I way off? Maybe I didn't write notes this week.
No, if you've got notes, you're right. Come on, go for it. Well, Danny left. We knew that. Danny was the last one to go before this week.
You know what? I don't think let's just start from what we remember. And what we remember is that the Brawns are getting whittled away one by one.
Yep.
And who do we have left? We had Danny, Flick, Way, George, Hayley, Cara. So that's 6. That was 6 left.
Yeah.
Before
Coming into on Sunday, Danny went.
Yes. Is that right? Yes.
Because the 2 that went this week.
Yeah. Danny left last week. Sorry, Tuesday. Because we weren't here to talk about that. But Danny went finally.
Do we?
What's that?
Do we need to talk about it?
Well, I think we're pretty glad that she didn't last. I didn't think she would.
What? No, and also it's the curse of the car. She won the car. No, it's true. It's traditionally the case. But what was also like, so they don't talk about sexuality much on the show. Fine, they haven't talked about it at all. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people made the assumption about Danny, myself included, and it was no surprise when she called her lovely female partner.
Sure. Yeah.
But I just don't know why. Like, so, like it was alluded to, like it's not really a topic, it was alluded to, it doesn't really matter, but it was interesting that, again, it goes back to like, nobody really talked about their partners in this whole, like Cara has kids, you only just found that out.
Yeah, she's married with kids.
You only found out that towards the end. Mm-hmm. So, no, I don't know, it was just, I've been fascinated by who people call when they get to the phone. Like, it's fascinating. And I was...
Who would you call, T? Who would you call?
You, Mick. I'll be calling you.
Yes!
Who else are we going to call? But I guess I wonder why this whole season has been so secretive about people's backgrounds.
My guess is that is boring. Which is fine because too many times people come into these shows with these massive backstories and sob stories and that's not what you're not there for that. Like, it's reality TV. Yeah, there's real people, but most people are boring. Most people don't have big backstories. Most people aren't exciting, and they shouldn't be selecting people because of that. So I'm fine that they didn't feature that and they didn't talk about it because it doesn't matter. Right. Look. The biggest thing that's happened, of course, for personal experience is that Flick's mum's died during the filming of the show. So that's almost that is huge because people now see her as a massive threat because sympathy vote because she's going great, but she's also, people might say, oh, we'll give it to her because Mum died during the show.
Mate, how could you not? Like, you're a bit of an ass if you don't. You'd have to. Look, you have to justify pretty hard not giving it to her. Like, you can go, well, you were just outplayed, or you were da-da-da. So it is an interesting, like, you know, if you go, oh, why, you can go, oh, well, Flick is very a tough person, she's given into the game, because she didn't even leave when her mother died. But, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's a hard call.
It is.
It's hard to beat.
And she not only is playing the game pretty well, she's been on the bottom multiple times, and she's survived, and she's survived, and she's survived. She's now to the final three, and it's going to be tough. She'll probably get to the final two.
Oh, I would be very surprised if it's not Hayley and Flick. I think that's how it should be. I thought about this today, though. Am I being contradictory to what I've said previously? Mostly in regards to Andrew being, oh, it's all about how you play the game. You're not playing the game right. So my point being, like, Flick and Hayley are more traditional players. George is something else. I liken him back to the original Survivor America, Richard, who suddenly turned the game on its head and went, this is about making alliances, not necessarily winning challenges, aka George, who's won no challenges.
Yeah.
So but I guess, and there's still a part of me that goes, the two that deserve to be there the most are Flick and Hayley. Flick hasn't had much of the social game. She's just managed to get through, which is smart in itself. So yeah, I'm a bit torn.
But has George been social, or has he just been a double crosser? Like he's been talking to people and making deals and, you know, pulling strings. But I don't know how social he is. I think everything he does and every interaction he has is all just about him surviving. And yes, I know that's the name of the show. Shut up.
No, I mean, it would be amazing to speak to George because, you know, this week we had George helping Wei through her challenge. And I think that was genuine. And there's been things that I've watched behind the scenes. If you dump into the background, little extras bits, you see he's a bit bloody useless.
Who, George?
Oh God! Like,
he cannot
be taught how to do everything.
George is hopeless at everything. He couldn't win a challenge to save his life.
He couldn't cook. He couldn't clean. He couldn't start a fire.
Nah.
He couldn't do anything. And like Kara became like mama. But something he did also say is, you know, like I said, I've talked about this. There's a really funny scene of him like pretending to do Baywatch and having a laugh with everyone. There's also you know, the fact that and I don't believe that producers tipped him off, but maybe they did. He's looking at Flick going, she's not looking for an idol. I have a feeling this is going to go a different way. Like, who thinks on that level of the game? That's
such crap because Flick could have just been sitting down resting for a minute, and then he happens to see her and go, this is suspicious.
Well, they may have edited it that way. Because I'm going to talk a bit more about Kara when we get there, because I just saw something on the project that was interesting. They may have edited it that way, but he still went, I have a feeling she's got an idol. And based on what? You know? So he just read people. I don't know if he got lucky or he read people well. It was pretty impressive. And maybe it was great TV editing, but I was like, whoa. Yeah. I couldn't believe he got through.
I can't believe George has survived this bloody long, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And look, what's really going to hurt him, I actually think that both Flick or Hayley, if one of them wins the challenge, they probably should take George to the end. Because they can argue that George, whilst being a good tactician and the king and whatnot, he hasn't completed the core part of Survivor, which is to outplay. And he hasn't done anything that would make him deservedly an all-round player because he cannot win challenges. And he gives up on challenges. Useless.
Well, he did, and again, redeemed himself, and maybe that was all for the camera and stuff, but goes back and helps someone else, and has actually been a bit closer this time at least. I thought it was really sweet, but whatever. Okay.
He's a tactician. He's a tactician. I mean,
I mean,
it
I
was
would
nice.
love
It was a
to.
nice thing to do. I mean, I guess it was nice, and in a way, he seems like a nice person. He was just helping her out. It was pretty.
There,
It was pretty
there is.
sad watching her trying to get across that bar. It's like,
I
oh
mean,
my
could you
god.
have done it? I couldn't do it now. I
Oh, of
couldn't do it
course you
bloody
could.
now.
Yeah, you could. Yeah,
If I had kept up my challenges and stuff that I had planned to
you
do,
could
we
do
would
it.
see. I'll see if I
Everyone,
can
I
find
mean,
something to climb on and show you that I can't do it.
we should try this. We could try, but we just get a
I
bar
will
and
try.
just go to the
I
park
will.
and
I'm going to go to a park
and
and see if I
shuffle
can
yourself
find something
along.
and show you because that is actually hard, Mick. But
You've
sure,
got upper body strength, right?
yeah. But I've also got a booty, so
No, no, no.
like
But most people's upper body strength can hold their weight, even just for at least a minute. You can
oh, and
hang on to a bar and pull yourself and hold
I
yourself
don't know.
up.
If you're watching this, comment please to let us know. I don't think that after 44 days in
No.
the of not eating and your arms are like "Ugh," like I don't think that you could. But anyway, they managed to do it. We're jumping around all those places. Well, let's just
We
go to this
are.
week. Let's go to this week.
All right. So let's skip forward to this week. We know that it came down to the big final. We have 5,
Yeah.
and
And Way couldn't do the challenge, so she obviously didn't get immunity. At least she's won one, I guess.
these were epic challenges too. Hey, like just
They
but
have been.
huge.
And I'm like, that's why I said I believe that the reward budget has gone on the challenge budget this year because
Yeah, let's bugger all rewards. Yeah.
bugger all reward. I still remember tea and biscuits. Like, come on now, come on, please.
The big one was Way winning a reward, right? Was that this week?
It was last week.
Oh, it was last week. Shit, we missed that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so happy for her. I think
That was really sweet.
I think anyone winning an individual immunity award is a big deal, and I would never expected Way to win one.
No, and I'm sort of like, you know, what will throw everything up in the air is if George actually wins the last one somehow, but unlikely. But Way, like, what everyone forgets about Way, and she, as you know, she annoyed me that the fact that she made it that far, but hey, it is what it is. Is everyone actually likes her? Like she's well liked.
Yeah, even though she's pretty quiet, I reckon they just didn't show up because she just didn't do anything controversial. But she was probably doing enough just to keep along. She was one of
I
those
think
players
she's
that
that fish out of water is kind of like, oh, you know.
yeah, she would have gone into imagine Way auditioning, and they would have looked at her and said, "How do you think you're going to go and challenges Way?" I mean, she admitted on camera that she didn't think she was going to win any challenges because she just doesn't. She's not a physical person. Obviously, great at puzzles, and she got a bit of an opportunity to do that. But yeah, she would have admitted to the producers before the show that she was not going to go very good at the physical challenges. But they still put her on, which has always amazed me because one of the prerequisites of being on Survivor, right, is that you're fit enough and strong enough to be able to survive the whole 45 days
She couldn't
if you
swim.
make it. She couldn't anything. And there were very few actual swimming challenges that she had to worry about.
But there's
because,
always swimming challenges.
but there were some, and she was buggered. She was like, I think she had to hold onto the ball at one point and get pulled along because there was one time where she couldn't. Who goes into Survivor and can't swim?
A few seasons they've dropped you off in the middle of the boat and you've had to swim in yourself. They've done that before, and that's been like the first challenge straight off the ship. You don't make it, see you later.
Yeah. So whilst she seems like a nice person, and I'm glad she got that far, I don't again think she would have deserved to win just based on her.
There's no way, and I would think that they wouldn't have voted for her. There's no. I mean, if it came down to her and George somehow, then she would have won. But against anybody else, no. Her and Cara, maybe she would have won. But her against Flick and Haley, nah.
So Way was like the one that got blindsided, as they love to say every time someone gets floated out. But it was all because what was it? Who had the immunity on Sunday night? That was Flick had the idol.
No, so Haley must have had him.
Haley had immunity because she won the challenge. Flick had the idol that no one knew about except that George guessed it. So Flick didn't tell anyone, which is great because you shouldn't ever tell anyone you've got an idol unless you can really use it.
Hello, Simon.
Idiot.
Well, and I tell you what, and again, harking back to some of George's greatest moments, and I wonder, have they been watching the series before? Because if you've been watching the series, yeah, interesting. I can't wait to see what people say after having watched the series. It's going to be amazing. But don't forget George coming out like shirt blazing, like Immunity Idol blazing, and it was one of the best plays that I've seen anyone make.
Yeah.
Remember that? But yes, I normally don't tell anyone you've got it.
No, don't tell anyone. Flick didn't. She pretended to go look for it. And it was still George who said, I don't think she's got one, so let's split the vote. So he convinced Cara to go for Way, whilst Hayley and Way voted for Flick.
Flick. Which means that Flick voted for George.
And so George was assuming that if there was a split vote, then Flick would go because then it was only down to the two of them. Yeah, he's a smart little sucker, but it sort of worked, but sort of backfired because in the end they got rid of one of their own because Flick had the idol. And
that one of them was going to have to go, and at this point it was waste time to go for sure.
But this was the time for Hayley to vote out George. I would have thought Hayley and Way would go, let's get rid of George or Cara, let's break him up. But they didn't do it.
Yeah, they didn't do it. I don't know why they didn't do that.
I think
because they all thought that they were going to get rid of Flick and keep their four together.
Yeah.
That's why.
That was it. And then
it was a chance to get rid of George, but Hayley's got it in her head for some reason that I don't know. Hayley thinks she can't beat Flick, so she's preferred to take George, which is probably right. She probably can't beat Flick. Let's not forget that the jury is made up of the people that you voted out.
Oh, yeah.
And
they're mostly...
they're mostly brawn.
Mostly men as well.
And they're mostly men.
Yeah.
And they kind of hate George.
Yeah.
Andrew still hates George. Mate, there is so much hate for Andrew on Twitter.
Really?
So much hate. So much hate.
Yeah, he didn't do himself any favours at the end.
He just didn't. And I think that's why they didn't put much of him on there. I've talked about this before. I'll say it again. Like, he made himself look terrible.
Yep.
And what kind of survival person loses a fire challenge?
And then even bloody Cara was trying to show George how to start a fire because she was like worried, what if it comes to fire making?
Us too.
And Cara's like, I know how to make a fire. And then she's trying to show George and she stuffs it up. It was quite funny. And she did.
I thought they were really trying to set it up that it was going to go to a fire challenge.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Pretty surprised that it didn't, but yeah.
It comes to last night's episode, which
hang on.
was huge.
Before we get there. So I've been watching the people return to jury.
Oh yeah, me too.
Jury Villa. Yeah, and I love, this is what was very interesting, is that Way said, I don't understand why Cara's still there. And they all cheered.
Yep.
So
how she survived is just because George has been saving her the whole time.
Well,
or protecting her and protecting himself, but her as well.
I mean, I think she probably would say differently because they've had conversations that have been different. And we'll get to that after we talk about the next episode because I watched her on the project tonight. I was quite interested, but yeah. So here we are. We go into the final episode before the penultimate episode.
Yes, the final, and obviously whoever wins this immunity gets to the final three. It's a huge immunity challenge, and it's a pretty epic one as well. Like there's lots of bits, but having said that, it wasn't a hard one. It was lots of bits to it, but it wasn't a hard challenge, and it didn't separate brawn versus brain. It was really just
no.
It was really just tick through.
The other thing you need to be damn good at too on this is blimmin' aiming.
Throwing, yes.
Throwing and aiming.
If you're going to go on Survivor, just practice throwing shit. That's all you got to do.
I'm practicing now, mate.
I'm good at throwing stuff. Let's have a competition one time with sandbags or whatever. So you can hit like a bottle off a thing. See who wins. I'm good at that.
I'm in.
I nail it.
I have no doubt, Mick. I would be making the alliance with you for sure. I'm like, if I jumped off the boat and I heard someone saying, "Oh yeah, I used to be like a shooting champion," I'm like, hey, friends.
Yeah.
Let's get on the same team, friends. Yeah, for sure. Training has been a huge part of this series.
And so, but this one, yeah, there was a sandbag throwing these little squares they had to knock off, and it got to the final bit where it's just rolling a ball into like these little holes. Super easy, like easy as. Like it's not even a puzzle.
How long did it take Flick to do the puzzle bit to put the stairs in there? It took her ages.
Oh, she was. Oh my god, it took so long. You're right. Haley smashed through it, and she was onto the balls like really fast. She should have won this challenge. Like, should have nailed it.
She should have won. She had such a lead, and she managed to lose it.
Even Cara caught up.
And
it was pretty close in the end, but it really and Flick managed to get the last ball in, but it was. Haley would be kicking herself so hard. Mind you, she got through anyway. I don't think she was that in danger of getting kicked out. But
yeah, I mean, had Flick had been a little bit smarter about it, she probably should have got rid of Haley.
But she tried.
She did try.
But Flick wasn't able to convince anybody to change their vote. Haley managed to convince George and Cara to vote for each other.
Was insane.
What?
And so we went into it and I went, oh my God, how long is this tribal going to be? Because far out, we had like 40 minutes to go of the episode. I was like, it wasn't that long, but it was a long episode. Long they were, and I'm like, there's only 4 people. How much stuff can they really talk about?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of cutscenes of like tadpoles and animals and the sunset.
Oh, was there more cutscenes? Okay, yeah.
They're dragging it out, and these episodes have been a bit shorter as well because they have only one challenge.
I think the thing, one thing I must say is I do appreciate that Survivor, yes, they've dragged it out one more week than they probably needed to, but you can't really finish on a Tuesday. But I do appreciate that they're not trying to drag it out 3 more weeks like the TV shows that we are aware of.
Oh yes, never again.
It doesn't need to go like all the way as long as the AFL winter season. Like you don't need to do that. But so the tribal was long, lots of chat, and Cara and George were really just talking to each other. Like, who cares about?
So finally, they've broken up. Like, this would be the first time they've voted for each other, and it's really just to save their own ass. Each of them wanted to save their own ass.
Because I was really shocked that Cara voted against him.
Did you notice she didn't look at him when she walked back? I reckon that's such a giveaway. If you go up and vote and then walk back and sit down and you don't look at the person, someone, she was really sheepish. She was just like looking down like this.
Oh, so because I actually watched who voted for who, and I didn't. I hadn't paid enough attention. Didn't realize it was Cara that had voted for George. I didn't realize until the end when they showed everyone do it. Yeah. So Flick just stuck with Haley because she wanted to get rid of Haley, which is quite clever. Because if it was Flick versus George and Cara, Flick would have easily got the final 2. Flick would smack. I mean, they'd have to change the
challenge.
They probably won't, because I don't know if they're leaning towards having Flick win. It's been a real slow burn with her. I mean, that would be kind of like the fairy tale ending. I will say something I was quite surprised by is that George, and again, whether that was a politician or not speaking, George making the mention that he wanted to pay off his family's debt. Oh yeah, that was the first time we've heard something like that. Yeah, that was an odd. Is he going to drop it now?
You reckon he'll bring that up if he gets to the final 2? Do you reckon he'll drop that when he's talking to the jury?
I just can't see him making the final 2.
No, he will. I actually think he will. Like, unfortunately, I think Haley will win the final challenge. Have you seen it? Did you see the preview? Holy shit! Oh my God, you didn't see it? You should go and watch. Yeah. Okay, so this is what they showed in the ad, and it's like you've got like Iron Maidens. You know those Iron Maidens which have like sticks, like metal spikes.
I did. It looks insane.
Exactly. So it's so they're standing on like poles, which are like sticks, and they're holding up or down. I'm not quite sure how it works because that wouldn't be able to fall on their head. But also, are they pushing it up or are they holding it?
They're pushing, and it looks like they're pushing and up. They look like they're pushing up.
But what happens if they let go?
Well, it looks like it falls on them.
Which can't no. That's what I mean. It's like, oh shit, they're just going to die if they let go. So that's what I thought. Maybe
you'd be holding on.
Maybe they're holding it to stop it from going up. You know what I mean? But then it looked like they were struggling like this.
Oh, mate. And it looks like they made it, they edited it really well. It looks like it's going to be a
Oh,
tight
yeah.
competition,
You
but
can't,
it probably
you can't
won't.
see George lasting that long. He's never lasted long in any endurance challenge, ever.
Maybe this is the ultimate play, is that he
Oh,
has
for
been
half
like,
mil, how hard would you go? Yeah.
oh, mate, you go hard, you go hard. But yeah, of course. So that night, last night, Cara got voted out. So I watched Cara go back to the jury. No, actually, she was boring. I didn't bother watching it, but I watched her on the project tonight.
Oh, yeah, she was on. Is that a thing? Is that where all the voted out
Yes,
survivors
yeah,
gone? I
yeah,
don't watch the project.
yes, yeah. No, neither do I. But I caught it because I was like, "Where's
Yeah, because
Survivor?
we're waiting to watch Survivor. Yeah.
Where's Survivor? Where are you?" Um, and she made mention, because of course people bring up with her that she wrote the wrong name down. She made mention that there were actually two plans going on that night,
Oh.
and she was asking Plan A or Plan B. Emmett was like, "Don't worry about it." Um, Big D was like, "Don't worry about it," and then George didn't hear what she said. So that's how she got herself confused, because there were two different plans and she didn't
Oh.
know what was going on.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
so
was that one. Yeah, because everyone.
yeah, the big one that made her so untrustworthy. Like she was,
Yeah.
I legit thought she was going to stuff it up again for sure.
Well, yeah. After she did that, screwed that up. You just thought, oh, that's a thing she's going to do.
But actually, there was more to it, as there always is. So I'm really excited to see. Like, I wonder if a lot of tea will be spilt in the after the thing. Yeah. Who knows?
What else did Cara talk about? I heard she just talked about animals.
I didn't. That was all I caught. Please,
She did
please.
like those people who do videos afterwards, and she was just talking about all the animals that she saw while she was out there. I don't know.
Oh
saw her
yeah,
mention
no,
that.
she didn't like. I went back to Jury Villa. I didn't even see. I didn't even stick around. They seem to be nice enough. I don't understand why they don't let them have a shower before they go and have dinner. And do all those poor people have to wait till like 9 o'clock at night?
T, are you
Yeah.
telling me that if you came to Drury Villa after 45 days out in the wilderness, the first thing you
Shower.
wouldn't want to do is smash some burgers and chips and pizza?
Shower.
Bullshit. You'd eat. You'd want to eat.
No effing way. It'd be shower.
No, eat.
Yes.
You can see my
I'm
priorities.
not
My
sitting there
priorities.
stinking, unwashed from 45 days around people and food. I'm not going to put people through that. Yuck.
I do.
Let me have a shower, because they are. Nick, we've talked about it. They are effing filthy. And every person hugs them and goes, "You stink.
yeah.
You stink." And honestly, after the third person, I'd be like, "Fine, I'm having a fucking shower. You guys can wait another hour. You wait another hour."
But yeah, they're all waiting there.
Shower.
I bet you though, while they're waiting for that person to come to the jury and all the food's on the table, they're just nicking chips, nicking
I actually
the
did
leg.
see, yeah, I
Some
mean,
nachos.
yeah, man, Baden, I can't wait to see Baden. He must be so fat by now. Because he's been there for like 2 weeks just eating those massive amounts of food. I would like to think that I would try and keep what I had taken off, like at least a little bit.
It seems to be a motivation for people to go on Survivor is to lose weight. But come
It's
on,
my massive motivation.
do you want me to just drive you somewhere and leave you there for a few weeks? Oh, it's fine. I'll come back and get you in a few weeks. How you doing? Well, you've lost some weight. Good on you. Have you made a fire? Oh no.
I paid attention to Cara's lesson.
Oh good. I'll
What
give you
would
some.
you leave me? I mean, I just think people forget that they have to sleep on the ground for like so long. So long.
Yeah, your hips get really sore when you're like lying on the ground. Like it's
Oh,
hard.
so much stuff. Honestly, I wouldn't last very long on Survivor. I would love to try, but I know I would suck so hard.
Hey T, we've got a live comment on our YouTube right now from
Yay!
Jock Rono. He says he backs T on this. A post-trek meal ain't a meal if you're filthy.
Thank you.
It could be Joe Chrono, sorry, or Jokrono messaged.
Hey, Joe or Jock. Hi.
Joe Chrono, maybe. I would. I'd still eat. I don't care how filthy I was. I would eat.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to tell you 100 times that you stink when we next actually can have dinner together. I'll be like, you smell. See how long you last.
Maybe you could go and grab some food and then just go in the shower and eat it while you're there.
They give the chocolate. I'd be smashing the chocolate in the shower, and I'd be smashing the wines and the chocolate, and then I'd be like, oh man, that first wine after being out there, you would be off your chops so hard.
I think that was a reward challenge last week, though. Remember that day spa thing? And they were smashing the wines. I thought they must have been so drunk when they got back, but they didn't really talk it up.
No, you would be gone. Like gone. There's no way. No food, and suddenly you've got like tasty wine. You're like, yeah, you'd be gone. Yeah. I think that's it.
So, yeah, big finale on Sunday night. It's where they do the thing where I don't know if they'll do it. Remember in previous years and previous episodes, they'll walk through and they'll look at photos of people who were on the show and they go, oh, remember Danny, he was this. Oh, remember. Yeah, and they sort of recap all of the contestants, all the ones that you completely forgot about.
Oh my God. Shannon, I made that comment. I was like, Shannon, she was like surprisingly good and she was gone so long ago.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the ball guy's name who was really chatty and stuff.
Joey,
yes. He's
so long ago.
He was so long ago. I thought he'd go far because they sort of highlighted him at the start. But
they did.
Yeah, he didn't last long.
I wonder if our buddy Benny will turn up.
Oh, fuck. Benny.
Wonder if they just lost his invitation.
Oh, another comment. Make a Survivor finale out of going to a wine tasting where they can only have tiny sips and just have to look at wine after months in the bush.
Honestly,
nasty.
That would be amazing. That would actually, could you imagine? It's like that thing you do with children, like don't touch the lolly. It'd just be like, I'd be out in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's the final challenge is to have all this food in front of you, but you can't touch it.
I saw a comment on Twitter as well that they were like, oh, they didn't do any auctions this year.
Yeah, they did that other one where they had a challenge and you could go and pick a plate, and that was sort of the replacement. The auction's way better. I don't know why they didn't do the auction.
Why no auction, guys?
Yeah, I thought that was like a tradition. They always did that.
It is a tradition. But maybe they couldn't, like, because normally because they had the phone, so normally they auction off seeing people and stuff. But it was odd. The rewards this year, very bad.
Except for the D-Max. Wouldn't you love a D-Max?
I don't understand how they went from Jaffles car.
I liked the lolly challenge too, the lolly shop.
Yeah. Okay.
That was good. And Mexican. I keep remembering all the ones I liked. Mexican was
the KFC was insane, but anyway. Licking off the pocket. Yeah. We should go on a little bit early next week and do like our top. If George makes it through, we'll do a top 10 George moments.
Ooh,
or if he doesn't make it through, we should do top 10 George moments. I don't know. He'll be on the show anyway, so we could do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because he's had some classics.
He has.
Or just top 10 Survivor moments.
He's a bloody chatty guy, isn't he? He's always on camera. He's always like, blah, 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 blah. He's talking about it all. You know, they love him.
They do, because he does, and you talked about this, he does really good camera explanations. And the one thing is, they've pretty much got, Cara was getting better, but they've pretty much got Hayley and George who are great at chatting to the camera.
Yeah, Flick's not.
And Flick's all right. She's getting much better. So that's probably 3 of the best that were left. I mean, Andrew was terrible.
Yeah, he was.
Finding any excuse to rain on Andrew.
Yeah, I'd love to see Andrew and George go at it at the end. So.
Oh my God, yeah, that would be fun. And who, you know what? See, the thing is, it's going to be a landslide for Flick if she's up against. So Hayley and George is really the only one that's going to be. I think she should win, I guess.
Who did I tip? Who did I pick at the start? Who did I pick? I know. I just picked Flea off her. Flea. I just picked Flick off.
She was cool.
I picked her just from like her description and her photo. I never seen her.
And Jared. Anyway, we should let people go. But I would be so curious to see if her and Jared are.
No, it was just a fling out in the bush. That's all.
A fling? It was an infatuation on Jared's.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Gerald.
That's his hat that she's wearing, right? I'm pretty sure. Like, she didn't arrive with that hat. I'm sure.
Okay, how much money do you want to bet that Emmett brings or wears? Probably brings his yellow shorts.
Ooh. So, are they doing a live finale?
So yes, but it's well, I don't know how they're going to do it now because of the current lockdown situation. But they are Osher. Remember I told you Osher's going to jump in
Yep.
because old JLP is in LA. So what's he doing in LA? He's not acting anymore. Please,
Does he just live there? He must just live there.
he must live there. I've seen him in real life once.
Really? He seems like such a
Yeah.
nice guy.
Um, he was just busy. He was busy. Didn't really have time to talk to the little people.
Fair
you know.
enough. I like that they're calling him JLP now. That wasn't a thing a couple of years ago, but now it's just
Oh,
like it's like a thing.
Well,
And they all hug.
yeah.
Like, a lot of them have hugged after
I
they've been
didn't
kicked
like
out.
how close him and Danny were. I felt that was a
Really?
bit of favouritism. Yes.
Were they close? I didn't notice.
Well, she tried to think they were pretty. She was like, "Hey, try to keep like." I think we're good.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, we'll do something for the final. I don't know what yet. We'll just tweet it, but maybe we'll just jump straight on afterwards or something. I don't know.
Oh,
No?
yeah. Is it too?
Well, we
is it
can't.
too tricky
People
to do it live? Yeah.
people aren't
Let
going to watch
people
us
it.
while they're watching the show.
Yeah, let people watch it. Yeah.
We could perhaps do after they've revealed the winner. Maybe we could do that and watch the final show, the live reunion show. We could jump on live while they're doing that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, look, if anyone has an opinion, let us know. But
Whoa.
we're completely at yours.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll figure it out.
we'll see you on Sunday.
One more to go.
Bye.